A young man who is inexperienced and naive, lacking salt and never having a piece of love to carry. So you're often ridiculed and ignored by the whole class. But as soon as my childhood friend confessed her feelings, she likes him. Then all those who hate you will be surprised, appear and overwhelm you with a lot of stuff. Then, after that, they let you go down the river and leave them to drown. When I'm slowly sinking underwater, young master discovered a glowing cube at the bottom of the lake. After touching it, you have been granted immense power. Allow me to take revenge on those who have bullied me, and then dominate the whole world. But slowly, it's been rewound from the beginning. Tiu is attending a class reunion with his classmates, and the whole group is playing the game of drawing sticks, and it's Su's turn to draw, when her gaze accidentally met the young man's. She was so confused that she knocked over the tower. According to the rules of the game, whoever topples the tower will have to reveal a secret. So the whole group asked her to reveal the name of her crush. The young man immediately smiled upon hearing that. My friends also had a good laugh because it's impossible. Beautiful person, why do you like a common character like him? But surprisingly, she frankly admitted that she really likes Tiu. She emphasized that she was not joking at all, because she liked him from the first time they met in middle school. Treat people with respect, because for you, it's about expressing your feelings, like a real fairy tale. This should be the happiest day of your life. But right after the meeting ended, the kid has been kidnapped and brutally beaten by the riverbank. You've never met these people before, but the leader's name, Tan Tuan. I have feelings for Tham Zhao again. After knowing that she likes Tiu, instead of accepting 7 failures and moving on, he decided to kidnap the child, take you to the riverbank, and give the order for your subordinates to threaten to kill you. Tiu recognized Tan Tun as the leader of the gang. Famous, and remember that he often harassed Tham Zhao. So you understand now. But facing such an overwhelming number of competitors, you don't know how to fight back at all? Tan Tun immediately made a video call to the Chum Zhao on his phone of the young ones, and you have to witness the miserable image of him. I was extremely horrified to see what Tan Tun was doing, but I keep telling him to let her go, because you don't want me to worry about you. However, he is determined. You're making me watch the spectacle of you getting thoroughly humiliated. The one who belittles young people is a loser, saying you're not worthy of the perfect person. Like a trial. Then, after that, if he gives you an order, you'll never get involved. If not, he will throw you into the river. You can choose the easy way. I swear I'll leave the Chum Zhao, but you will never betray her like that. Instead, he hit his head really hard into the guy who was holding him. That guy is really persistent, to the point that the person who was holding the child accidentally let him go, and he really fell into the river. Tan Tun was panicking because he had no intention of killing Tiu. He just wants to scare you into backing down. He frantically called out the name of the young girl, but there's no AI responding. So that means you might have died. And Tan Tun just committed a murder right in front of the priest. Meanwhile, the young person underwater is gradually sinking. You didn't even try to save yourself. Because if we can't protect the person we love, then what's the point of living? It's so frustrating when your life flashes before your eyes. The young man recalled the memory of the day he ran away after being cheated by the standards of middle school students. That action immediately ruined your reputation. Besides, You also happen to overhear two girls talking badly about you. And I call you a fool. Time passes by. When the lesson ends, everyone is leaving one after another. Only the young man is still sitting dejectedly by himself. At that time, walk out of the school gate. But I immediately stopped when I saw you. She approached him and asked him what's wrong. The young man is quiet. So she guessed he forgot to bring an umbrella and suggested it. I agree with you. Then the two of us went back together. The kid refused because he can go back on his own. But Tham Zhao reminded you that it's still raining. And if you go without an umbrella, then you'll get soaked. Let's see. The young man realized that Tham Zhao was right. But you still stubbornly insist that you can wait until the rain stops. She laughed because she found him so silly and naive. But then she realized that Tay Tia was injured. She immediately asked if he could show her. At first, the young person refused. But Tham Zhao, patiently saying that I just want to help you bandage it. Finally, you also agree. You be careful. Apply a bandage to your wound. Then blow on it and tell them to do it like that. It will heal faster. At that moment, in my head, I've imagined the next 55 of my life with Tham Zhao. Thank you for helping me. And from that moment, the two people are as inseparable as Sam. Back to the present. The young man suddenly woke up in the water and discovered a stream of light emanating from the bottom of the river. You've sunk too deep to be able to swim back to the surface before drowning. So I decided to take the risk and dive down to see what it was. At the bottom of the river, the young monk found a tiny glowing cube. You pick it up with your hand. And immediately, the energy block has been activated and merged with your body. Suddenly, the young person feels a severe pain all over the body. Just a moment. You've been teleported out of the water. Then Law went straight into the space tunnel and being thrown into the center of the giant cube. When I woke up, the kid is panicking because it was just a second ago. You're still drowning. Even though I'm relieved to see that I'm still alive. But you don't understand what the hell is going on at all. Where am I and who is this? Just at that moment, weird system appear in front of you and announce a minor tuition. Have the ability to draw a circle with a radius of 15 meters around oneself. In this area, you can teleport to any point. In the blink of an eye, I feel that there must be a lot of trouble in the country. You just flew like this? Because you don't believe in instant teleportation. But right after that, his body was suddenly pulled away. You appeared out of nowhere, just above the canal. The kid is panicking again. Because you are in a very high position. And I'm so scared that I might fall at any moment. But we can't save it. But then you realized, I'm feeling relaxed and extremely safe. After regaining my composure, you look down at the ground and see Tuntun is desperate. Looking for myself under the water. He's afraid that he might have killed the prisoner. Looking at that scene, you find it quite interesting. But just a few seconds later, you've been teleported to a location again. Meanwhile, Tuntuan suddenly had a feeling. There's someone just observing me from above. He immediately asked his subordinates, see if anyone hears anything strange. But they just think he's a bit crazy. Nevertheless, Tuntun is still not at ease and give the order to continue searching for the prisoner. Meanwhile, the kid was transferred to an empty classroom. In my school. At this moment, do you really believe you can teleport? And it's not because of stubbornness either. but you still don't understand why. I have this ability again. Suddenly, the system is speaking and saying that you've been continuously activating it. My transfer ability. The young man was startled and worried. Sometimes it's still because of the papaya leaves. It's true, because suddenly you heard a voice in your head. But the system immediately corrected it. It's not in your head, but it's in your body. Very useful information. I hope you can keep it to yourself. You sternly told it to leave your body. However, the system is ignoring your words and giving a warning. Someone is approaching. School staff are heading towards the classroom because they heard something. There's a strange noise inside. But when opening the door, he only saw an empty room with a puddle on the floor. At this moment, Tiu has moved back to his house. You decided to take a shower to relax your mind. After taking a shower, he took out his phone and was surprised to find it's still working normally, even though we've sunk to the bottom of the river with you. The first thing Tiu did was to call Cho Chumjiao to tell her that I'm still alive. Just picked up the phone. Chumjiao was worried and asked if you were okay. I'm reassuring my sister that she's fine. But Jiao was angry and criticized Tantun. I've gone beyond the limit and asked the young monk if he wants to report to the police. Actually, Chumjiao should have called the police as soon as I witnessed the scene of a child being pushed into the river. But you just said it's not necessary. You've managed to get out without Tantun noticing. So right now, he's probably still panicking, looking for your body in the river. And I'm feeling anxious about the number of calendars I have to unwrap soon, because so many things have happened today. So I advise you to take a break and then hang up the phone. Then, after that, you lie down on the bed. And I'm wondering what to do with this system. Because even if you tell it, no one will believe you anyway. Surprisingly, the system reappeared and asked about the junior. Have you calmed down yet? You're asking why it keeps following me. But the system is reminding you. It has become a part of your body now. So even if you want to, I just can't get rid of it. Then, after that, cube activation system. And the young one was again sucked in. At this moment, interpretation system. It has established a connection with your body. It means that the junior is the one who uses the system. Square Hira. And also the owner of this system. I still haven't gotten all the information yet. So you're asking why the system would help someone like me? Response system, because it wants to help you realize your dream. The young person still didn't quite understand, so they asked again. And this time, the system responded. That is his dream of becoming the king of the world. Try practicing instant teleportation with the system. But soon, you've been drained dry. Besides, I almost flew off the building's roof. The system is notifying that the reserve energy is about to run out. So, we'll have to limit it. Reduce to once per minute. The young person has decided temporarily stop practicing instant teleportation, because it would be really bad if you accidentally run out of mana when being at an altitude of 1,000 feet in the air. The system also has other ways for you to practice. Safer. Because theoretically, you can. Seeing everything within a range of 15 meters. The young person decided to give it a try. And thanks to the new power you have, you can see. My bedroom. A couple is lying in bed. And the neighbor who lives nearby while she's in the bathtub. Feels like Chi just came back from hell. Young master, stop using the power in front of the building where I live. And try looking around the garden. But you're scared of having a child. I'm staring at you. The young man fell to the ground. And the warning system if you continue to use it. What is this ability to teleport and have super senses? then you'll soon run out of energy. Even though I'm a newcomer, but the young person controls their abilities quite well. However, your body is not used to spending so much energy ever. So in the end, you fainted. A few hours later, the young man woke up in bed and realized ... It seems like you practiced too much yesterday. So you decided to be more careful from now on. The system brought you back to your room after you fell unconscious, because you need to rest more. The young man suddenly realized that he couldn't hear anything anymore. The voice of the system, also in my head. So you're asking what's going on? Interpretation system, to maintain the connection with the body of the miner. It will also consume energy. And he can't ascend because he's too exhausted. Because if so, it will also follow Tai. It sounds reasonable to me too. But you still feel, I can't believe I have a superpower. You should try searching for information about supernatural powers on the internet. But unfortunately, none of our brothers are making videos. Died completely. So you'll have to find out for yourself. Just at that moment, you received a message from Tham Jiao asking about tomorrow. Do you want to have lunch with me? At first, I felt very excited. But then he remembered what Tun Tun had done to him. And I swear I'll make him pay the price. However, not right now. Because I missed the chance to dance and my mana has run out, what should I do now? You're asking if the system has any way. Can I help you increase your strength? The response system has a strengthening function. Automatically pre-integrated. It's basically a young person. You can become stronger by absorbing precious stones. You excitedly asked to upgrade. Then, which kind of jade should we use? And the response system is that you can also use stones. In theory, any stone can contain energy within it. But you will have a higher chance of success if you use stones as blocks. The value on the shelf or the diamond ring. Your mother's invaluable. The young person thinks they can use it. The expensive gemstones to upgrade the system. But the system says, you don't need to worry. In fact, those pills don't even contain enough energy. However, the system has found a gem outside. But it seems to have enough energy to provide a significant upgrade. The kid asked where that thing is. And the response system is located in the garden on the lower floor. Without hesitation, the young man immediately teleported downwards with a shovel in hand. You're wondering where to start digging. But the system, I encourage you to find it on your own using your intuition. My own. It's worth a try. So you should close your eyes and start scanning through the area. Finally, you've discovered something near the tree root. Then he immediately went over and dug it up. You'll find it hard to believe because of this stone. There really is energy within, even though it looks like just an ordinary bright orange pebble. But the system guarantees this stone can be used for upgrading. The junior monk asked, what's the next step? And the system is telling you to give the stone. Enter the inner square. The young man entered the cubic space and brought the stone. Touch the wall. A few seconds later, the stone is absorbed. You're surprised because you really did it. And you've started. Feel the flow of energy entering your body. The system of interpreting energy from a stone have increased strength. The minor increased by 2 points, and the physical strength increased by 1 point. If we continue to absorb the precious stones, then you can significantly improve your combat skills. The next morning, the alarm clock of the young person rang. You got out of bed in that state. I'm still feeling sleepy because I spent all night searching for precious stones. Suddenly, I remembered I have to go to school today, so I'm in a hurry. Prepare and run to class a few minutes later. Just arrived. Inspection and transfer. I immediately asked him to explain everything that happened last night. But then she realized the whole class is staring at me and bringing up old stuff. She admitted that she likes the young man who teases her. Just at that moment, the classroom is buzzing with excitement because Tuntun just showed up. And the first thing is, what he did after arriving was to give orders to his subordinates. Choose a guy in the buffet jungle. Show off your skills in bed. Obviously, Tuntun has broken into the school because he's currently there. Express your worries. But, young lady, please calm down. Then go back to your seat. Tuntun heard the news that TTU is still alive. So he went straight to the front of the class. And I want to know where you are. As soon as Tuntun mentioned the name of TTU, the whole class immediately turned to look at him. It's really just a bunch of busybodies. You try to ignore it with hope. Tuntuan will give up on his own and disappear. But Tuntun has discovered you. And start climbing the stairs to your place. It seems like we won't be able to hold the martial arts convention tonight. It's hard for a young person to get a good night's sleep. But with new capabilities, why are you so afraid of them? To be sure, you ask the system, see how much chance I have of winning. And the victory response system is quite easy. Because the average combat index of an ordinary person. Here is the year. The current index of the minor is 22. Surprisingly, Bei Chumjiao tried to persuade Tuntun to stop. Because I don't want TTU to get hurt. But Tuntun only approached her. And start insulting you. She told him to leave immediately. But I'm so frustrated that I can't swallow it anymore. You stand up and apologize to the judge. Because I've let Tuntun bother you all this time. But now you're going to deal with this. Tuntun felt offended because of TTU. Daring to think that I can pay him off on my own. He grabbed your collar and threatened to turn you into gold. However, TTU grabbed his hand and squeezed it so hard that Tuntun. I have to temporarily reconsider my decision. The young person said, if he continues to bother you and interrogate you, then you won't hesitate to feed the whole bunch. Tuntun is still trying to understand TTU. What have you quoted that's so powerful? But at that moment, the homeroom teacher appeared and made a request. Tuntuan and his gang left the classroom. Because they don't study in this class. Tuntun doesn't want to be arrested by the royal court. So he agreed to back off. But before leaving, he whispered into the ear of the young girl. And they said if you don't want to get involved, you'll run into trouble. Then you have to go to the North City basketball court tonight. Tuntun left, and Bei Chumjiao asked what Tuntun had said. But the kid just replied that it's not important. Coincidentally, you said your head suddenly hurts, so maybe. I'm going to skip school today. Meanwhile, at the North City basketball court, Tuntun still can't understand it. What should we do, kid? So strong that he could strangle someone with his bare hands. But he thinks it's just luck. Because there's no way a young person would work out so hard at the gym. He will make the young one suffer. You have to pay the price for making him lose face. A moment later, a young person came to the basketball court and loudly asked for Tuntun. Where are you now? You noticed him sitting in the highest row of seats. In the stadium. Tuntun laughed because he thought this time, the kid can't get away. And there's also no chance of winning in this match. Because he has never intend to go solo. He's planning to ambush and bring a large group of people for a massage. Massage for the little one. The warning system seems to be quite intense this time. Because there are up to 13 enemies waiting for you. Nevertheless, the young person still has confidence in their own strength. should ask the system, what do you think the chances of winning are? But when the system said you only have a 20% chance of winning, then you lose all your confidence. Tun recognized that expression. So I laughed at you even more. He gathered all his followers in front of the young master. Before starting the meeting, he's giving you one last chance to say sorry and ask for forgiveness. However, Tiu is mocking Tun again, and his northern gang is too cowardly. I don't dare to compete with you. You're trying to provoke Tun to go solo, to increase the chances of winning. Tun is really good at playing cards. You're still so young and green. But being insulted still hurts. He's planning to take action. But a younger sibling, step out and tell him that I will fight for Tun. This person is a bald boss, the strongest warrior in Tun's gang. So AI also thinks that the young generation has a chance now. Gate of death. Even the young ones are a bit worried. So you're asking the analysis system to do it for you. The combat index of Qi Xiang Trung. And I see it's only 10. Not too worrying. Picking and choosing. Picking up the basketball and deciding to throw it towards Tiu. But the system has warned you in time. Then, after that, Kong is provoking Lao to attack. But the young person dodges and dances all over the garden. Meanwhile, in the classroom, Bei Chumzhou is worried. Because since morning, the kid has been behaving very strangely. And now, I'm not answering the phone anymore. So she decided to take action on her own. Return to the football field. Even though Kyun Hao-tarik has tried, he still can't get close to Tiu. Every time, and I'm already starting to feel exhausted. Now, you just need to make a decisive move. He's provoking Lao again. But you're still much faster. You grab his leg, deliver a thunderous punch, and throw this bald head straight into the wall. The whole group can't believe it. They're laughing their heads off. Again, I'm being treated like a nobody. It's so frustrating. They turn to ask Tun what to do here, big boss. But he just laughed loudly and shouted. Even a young person can defeat a powerful old man. But 2 against 1, even a mouse would get scared, let alone us. A guy is fighting against a bunch of people. The junior asked about the opportunity system. Your victory against the whole gang. Has it increased at all? Because Qi Xiang Tarik is still unconscious. So let's get rid of one enemy. But your chance of winning, it's only just increased to 30%. It seems like the situation is still very tense. You have no other choice but to confront it. With all of them at the same time. The young man defends himself and starts to block the relentless attacks. But I can't keep up with everything, so I'm getting overwhelmed. From the back. That person really pissed off the young master. You come back and directly attack that person's Long Fang duo. Then you threw him towards Tun. At this moment, Tun started to feel quite worried. So I've ordered the whole gang to surround you immediately. I can't let myself be pushed into a corner. So you jumped onto the stage and started. Move to create distance. Then you jumped down and tripped up a guy. But I was held back by someone else from behind. You tried to fix it but didn't have time to respond. Then I was punched in the stomach and fell to the ground. That kick was so painful. But I won't let myself get tricked like that again. You stand up and are ready to confront everything. At first, I was still overwhelmed by continuous attacks. But this time, you can feel the sneak attacks. You dodged and caught the foot of the person who kicked you in the stomach. Then turn him around and throw him straight into Tun's face. Tun finally started. Realize the terrifying power of youth. You walked closer to him. But the warning system? You're about to run out of energy again. In the current state, a junior cannot win against a senior in a one-on-one fight. Nevertheless, it's just a bit of a scare. But you still want him to be so scared. I don't dare to cause trouble for the Chimsao anymore. Just at that moment, the leader of the southern city has appeared. He came to mock Tantun. And the North gang got beaten by a guy named Ken. He said, if you can't win one, then you're not worthy. Become the leader of the North City. It's best to give up. But the young man interrupted him mid-sentence. You know very well, there's already a conflict between the two gangs from the North and the South. But that has nothing to do with me. And you also don't want to get involved. However, even though I've never met TTU and I don't know why, you're fighting with Tantun again. Hoek Hone, leader of the South City, still giving orders to my subordinates to attack the young ones. Just to show off. Warning system with current energy level. This spring, I'm young and energetic. I won't go back if I have to confront them directly. So you had to run away to save your life. The junior asked if the system can be transferred. But since the energy level is too low, we have to wait for time. In the afternoon, you keep running until you reach the stairs. By this time, the cooldown has already ended. So the young person immediately moved, and the first thing what you're doing is turning off all the lights when everyone is still confused in the dark. The kid moved behind them. After looking straight into Huang Hong's face, you knocked him to the ground without mercy. Then, after that, young master continued to take down one by one the members of Hoek Hong's gang until the lights are turned back on. Only TTU is the one who can stand firm. Tantun is so scared of TTU right now. Suddenly, from the outside, the gym echoed with a man's screams. It seems like Nam Jiao has called the police because she is worried about the safety of the child. The police are trying to break in. And mediation. Keep urging them to hurry up for your friend. You might be in danger. Hoek Hone can't do it now. Leave the building without being detected. And he also doesn't want to get into trouble for fighting. So he had to think of a way to solve it quickly. He looked at Tantun. And the young man moved to in front of him. Tantun immediately kneeled down and begged for forgiveness. You suddenly came up with a great idea. You said you would forgive Tantun. But with one condition. When the police finally managed to open the gym door, they saw Tantun was holding the collar of TTU and pretending to be punching you. As a result, Tantun and Hoek Hone were arrested for organizing. We collectively blame each other in the gym. As for the younger generation, they are innocent because we were able to convince the police. I'm just an outsider. Unintentionally got involved. You also made Tantun promise that he would never. Why are you bothering me again? The temporary problem has been solved. But that battle made the young one realize your current strength. You still have many limitations. You need to get stronger as soon as possible. To do that, you need to find more fossils. Let's take a look in the jewelry store. But you quickly realize that you're really poor and pathetic. What are you buying? And you haven't been recognized by the industry yet, so never mind. You briefly considered it. Please give me a job so I can earn money to buy precious stones. But then I thought it wasn't worth it. So the young person decided. Go find precious stones in nature. You should prepare a bunch of tools. Then set off to the nearest mountain range to start the journey. And you really found a few. But one of them got stuck under the giant rock. A stone at the bottom of the lake. And the last piece is 15 meters above the ground. In other words, you can't possibly get them on your own. At that moment, The notification system just detected it to the junior monk. An underground cave, and there is a large amount in it. The energy of the gemstone. You're curious, so you try to move inside the cave. But strangely enough, even though the distance is quite close, but you still can't move inside. Interpretation system. If the target area is completely sealed off, then the miner ... can't move in. To move into the cave, need at least a gap of 1 centimeter. But the young person doesn't have the strength to dig that deep. Think for a moment. Then realize that if there's just a gap near the cave ... then maybe there will be around the lake. Because water has surely eroded the land over time. After looking around, you really discovered a small gap leading down to the cave. When we can move into the cave, the kid fell because he didn't expect the floor here to be so slippery. You take out the flashlight and start searching around. See if there's anything. But all you see is a frog. Suddenly, notification system. I've discovered a fossil right in front of me. But in front of the young person, there's just a blank wall. You're extremely frustrated. It took a lot of effort to get here. But I still can't get the stone. But then you feel a breeze pass by your face. You immediately realize it. If there's wind, then there must be a loophole somewhere. As soon as I find that loophole, you move inside. After moving, the young person discovered that they were in a place completely different in stock. You have to keep moving forward. But because I was so distracted, I almost fell off the edge of the cliff. Luckily, you managed to keep it. But the flashlight has already fallen. You decided to take a break for a while, then find a way to identify the location of the gemstone before proceeding to the next step. But it turns out you're just a kid, not the only one in line. You've identified the stones. They are clustered on the other side of the aisle. However, that position is beyond your reach. While the young people are still struggling to find a way to approach, a giant snake quietly crawled up behind you. But just as the snake was about to strike the guy, then the young person suddenly decided to move from this rock. Go to another rock to access the gemstone. So you escaped from danger at the last minute. Even now, you still don't know. There's a snake lurking in the tunnel. You decided to walk the rest of the way while waiting for the afternoon. Finally, you've come close enough to the system. We have identified a total of 12 gemstones here. The young person is extremely excited. But at the same time, I also realize it won't be easy to get them either. Because the stone platforms near the precious stones are very narrow and dangerous. You're still completely. I had no idea there was a snake trying to swallow me alive. And you also don't dare to take risks. Transfer dose, because if we slip up, we'll just let ourselves go completely. But there's no other way. Just before the snake could bite me, the little creature moved down and clung tightly to the rock, like a straw that saves a life. Now that we're quite close to the pagoda, you tie a rope around yourself to make sure it's safe to start mining stones. As soon as I get the first one, you're extremely happy. But when trying to take the second pill, your hand slipped and the stone fell straight to the bottom of the cave. You can't lose that stone. So you try to use your ability to perceive space to locate it. But it's so terrifying. You feel like there's a giant creature right beside you. The snake Lao is attacking. And the child slipped off the edge of the stone pillar. The snake immediately followed Lao. Lock is the rope around my waist. Keep you in the air. So the snake slid down into the lake below. However, a few seconds later, The rope broke and the kid also fell into the water. Now, you're facing the risk of drowning. And the snake still hasn't given up its intention to eat you. The kid picked up a shovel and tried to hit the snake. But it doesn't matter at all. You're being tightly wrapped up by a snake and starting being squeezed to the point of suffocation. Please pray for me. The system of transferring oneself into another dimension. But the system says, as long as if I'm still held captive by that snake, I'm doomed. The kid recklessly thrust the shovel into the snake's body. Then it's painful to let you go. But at that time, the young person had fainted due to lack of air. The system instantly transports you into another dimension. Make a plan to save him. When the young person woke up, you said you want to consolidate all the stones you've just collected. Well, that's fine too. But the system says there's a better way. Currently, TUTU is owning 11 primary gemstones. And they can be combined into high-level gemstones. Capital will bring much greater strength. Of course, I want to reach the senior level. But the system says that the synthesis process will take 4 days. But they don't have time. Therefore, the recommendation system. You can take 9 pills to start the process of synthesizing high-grade gemstones. And keep the pills to help you have enough strength. Return to fight the snake. After absorbing 2 primary gemstones, the young master immediately teleported out cube space and was immediately attacked by a snake. But this time, the young man easily deflected the attack and dealt with the snake in an instant. Honestly speaking, the young person is quite ambitious because the battle was easier than expected. But you should also be grateful for winning so easily. You waded into the water to observe the snake carcass and were surprised. I found another gemstone in there. Especially, this one looks very beautiful. TUTU immediately came up with the idea of making use of it. Absolutely amazing. Meanwhile, Tuntun and Hoikone met each other in a bar. And Hoikone is extremely determined to take revenge on TUTU. Hoikone wants to get revenge on TUTU. But Tuntun thinks it's not worth it. Because even though we combine both bands, I just can't win against the young ones. But Huang Hon unexpectedly made a serious announcement. Have returned to the city. As soon as I heard that name, Tuntun grabbed the hose and shouted to come find him. Being strict is just asking for trouble. But I'm confused, not so stupid as to directly ask Dingim for help. Instead, he thinks he can manipulate seriously. Let him take care of it himself. He reminded Tuntun of the serious reason for leaving the city. 2 years ago, it was because I had suffered 7 crushing defeats against a certain person. The classier one is called TUCCC Fine. Tuntun doesn't know much about TUCCC Fine. But he remembers that Tukok then has something to do with it. Go to Southam. I was busy at that time. My phone is ringing while I'm studying in the library. When answering the phone, the person on the other line warned that someone is coming to find you. Right after that, They Chamjiao was surrounded by 4 men in suits. And obviously, it's not Christmas yet. They Chamjiao immediately ran out the door, but was stopped by a man. So she had to run down the hallway. Found the storage room. Immediately rush in and lock the door to avoid them. But now, there's no escape anymore. A group of people started breaking the door. As for Thamjiao, he is extremely scared. At the moment when it seemed the most hopeless, the person who called earlier told you to go back to the backyard. Behind you is a floating yellow energy block. And from it, a hand reached out and touched her. They Chamjiao closed his eyes and waited for what was about to happen. When those people broke in, she has been gone for a long time. She has been taken away by the god of flowers. And you are the one who called to give the warning. She's going back to the secret agents. Now, he's trying to keep her away from them. The better, the better. At the same time, flexing extremely smoothly as a veteran member of the Bakua Club. However, the agents have secret weapons to deal with the Divine Cup. It's a gun. Give me 3 skills to practice for 15 times. What can compare to a blooming flower? The god was shot while he was in midair. Although most of us are not injured. But now it's not so easy. We can't cut their tails anymore. He placed an order. Go down and set up the boundary. Protect her and get ready to fight. He jumped off the ledge and landed immediately. Give me the name of the agent who always sees Mr. and Mrs. Ra first. Another guy named Lao came to attack. The god's punch sent him flying, while at the same time knocking out 2 other guys. Finally, an agent captured from the god's cup and pull you up into the sky. After a quick scuffle in midair, he and his 3 teammates combined forces to throw something from the holy cup